The season, the football campaign, starts on Sunday in the Rose Bowl. Texas A&M and UCLA, and the team will fly out shortly to the left coast. But before they get away, we've got Connor Lanfear. The front porch is back. Yeah, I love the name.
Oh, it's a great
that we came up with
great
for
name.
this segment. I'll be joined later on by Matt Simon. We'll get you ready for the matchup between the Aggies and the Bruins. But Connor starts us off here on the front porch, and we'll just get right to it. It's always your honor to introduce your guest of choice for the week. Who do we have with us?
Got a great teammate of mine. He's also a big hunter and fisherman, so very, very happy to have him on the show. Thanks for being here, Damion.
Don't worry. Thanks for inviting me.
Damion Ratley, senior wide receiver, Yoakum, Texas. See,
That's it.
I like the small town guys.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm one. I'm from Columbus, Texas. We used to play Yoakum in non-district games.
Sir.
So before we get to UCLA, the season, and all that, there's the matter at hand of what's going on in Texas this week, and it's affecting all of us. I mentioned I'm from Columbus, and that's a small town that had heavy flooding throughout the week. Hurricane Harvey hit. It's got to affect some of your teammates, you guys as well. Connor, just what's the state of mind right now? I know you guys are getting ready for an important football game. You're starting classes this week. I mean, Wednesday was the beginning of school, and now this hits. I guess the general question is, how's everybody doing? Everybody okay? And is it a strong team that's ready to get through this?
Oh, yeah. It's been a hectic week with classes starting, and, of course, Hurricane Harvey. A couple of our guys on the team have been affected by that. But as far as I know, everyone's family is safe, and they're doing well. And we've really come together as a team and surrounded around those guys and tried to support them any way we could. So now we're moving from the mindset of let's take care of our guys and make sure we're okay to – all right, we're good to go for UCLA now because we know these guys are taken care of and they're supported, and we're going to be all right.
Mm-hmm. And, Damion, like I say, you're from Yoakum, somewhat in the path of Harvey, and I think we talked before we came on air here. It's not too bad in Yoakum, but Connor also mentioned you like to fish and hunt, and you like to do a lot of that down by the Gulf, Rockport, Port O'Connor. And it's and in those areas, it's pretty tough right now.
Yes, sir. I mean, it didn't hit us too bad in Yoakum, as bad as it did in Port O'Connor, which I love to go down there. Fish Farm goes out to them. Rockport, which I love to go down there. We always go down there for vacation. We have a lot of people that stay down there and have houses down there, and it really hit Rockport really hard. And my heart goes out to all of them because I love, as a tourist, just to go down there and visit, and it's very beautiful. Mm-hmm. And then so this tropical storm hit, which I heard it got changed to tropical storm instead of hurricane or Harvey.
It's kind of going back and forth.
Yeah, so my heart goes out to all of them, and I hope they come back look beautifuler than they were when I last seen them. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Yeah, and the campaign is underway to restore things, and it's underway here on the A&M campus, too. The BTHO Harvey campaign has started. If you want to know more about that, you can log on to 12thman.com, bthoharvey.org. It's all available to you on ways you can help those that have been affected by the flooding and the hurricane. And the matter at hand, though, is, guys have to put a lot of things aside, at least for the weekend. And play a football game. And maybe, though, that's a good thing for a lot of people, fans and players alike. And I know you guys have been waiting for it because you're sick of hitting other guys in maroon for so long. Am I right?
That's true. Yeah. Very true.
Yeah. Are you just looking forward to getting out there, first road trip of the year? Not just first game, first road trip. And that's a lot of times where a team can come together as away from home, too.
Oh, without a doubt. Really looking forward to going on the road and playing these guys, especially at a venue like the Rose Bowl. I know me and Eric hit on last week. At the end of the day, it's just another game. But it's the granddaddy of them all, and you dream about playing in stadiums like that. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how our team comes together and performs when those lights cut on. It's going to be a show.
Mm-hmm. Damion, pretty cool to start it all off in the Rose Bowl.
It's a great experience. Me personally, a lot of our team, just like me, has never been to California. Mm-hmm. So when we get to go out of state or out of to different venues like the Rose Bowl, and then it's more than just a game. I mean, it's once you start the game, once the whistle start blowing, then it's just a game. You're just in a 100-yard field, just 120-yard gridiron, but when you get there, it's kind of like, okay, we're here. We get to play in like a historic stadium. If you don't remember, Vince Young scored, and so it's kind of like it means a lot for us to go over there and play.
Yeah, and I think we alluded to it last week, whether you play in Kyle Field, the Rose Bowl, or for one of your high school games from the past, still 100 yards long and 52 yards wide on the dimensions there. But both of you are offensive guys, and you'll go into this game. Coach Sumlin did not divulge who would start at quarterback in the Tuesday press conference. You had 3 competing for the job. Now, we're not going to ask you either who's going to start, but when you have a situation like that, and I'll start with you, Damion, because you got to catch passes from all these guys, do you kind of have to be ready for 3 different things on game day, considering Nick and Kellen and Jake are all, in some ways, 3 different kinds of quarterbacks?
They are definitely 3 different kinds of quarterbacks. You got the cannon coming from Nick, and it's like, oh, man, he got the arm of a champion. And then you got Kellen with the legs. You don't know whether you're going to have to do scramble drill or you're not. Or you got Jake, the old school guy, which is you're gonna know where you need to be, how you need to be, and you got to be right there. Or you know what I mean? So
things don't just stay the same for the offensive line, regardless who the quarterback is. I mean, you guys are going to do different things with different quarterbacks, and you got to be prepared for this too, Connor.
Just to some degree, yes. You got to know who's behind you. It really doesn't change our job all that much. However, say Kellen's back there, it's a little bit different of a mentality. If you get beat or someone slips by you, he's got a pretty good chance of making it right with his legs just because he is so slippery and he does move so well. Whereas Nick or Jake is behind you, you really have to hold up in that protection and let them sit back there and be unaffected on their throw because they will put that ball exactly where it needs to be. So you need to know who's behind you, but it doesn't really change our job description all that much depending on who gets the nod.
Yeah, and I also thought about this with Kellen. You mentioned maybe somebody slips by you. And when that happens, is it almost a situation where you immediately think in the snap of a finger, all right, Kellen can get away, let me go find somebody else because maybe I can pave the way on a run play or something like that?
Yeah, when you get beat, a lot of different stuff runs through your head, most of which I cannot say right now.
Right, yeah, and part of it's Jim Turner runs through your head.
Yeah. Without a doubt. But yeah, you've got to make it right. If you get beat, you got to make it right. Either you got to turn and chase that guy down and try and push him by the QB so he can step up, or like you said, try and pick up somebody else. And you just have to try and make it right any way you can.
Mm-hmm. We've got Connor Lanfear and Damion Ratley with us. It's the Front Porch, a new segment this week. Texas A&M is getting set to head out to L.A. They will take on the UCLA Bruins on Sunday night, and you can hear the game right here on many of these stations. And it's a fun opener, but I guess it always rings true. It's that business trip. You're going on a business trip, but are you guys prepared for something a little different this time? Because you're going out on a Friday, game's going to end, and you're going to lose a couple hours on the backside returning to Texas, and you could be home, I would say, wee hours of Monday morning. Maybe we're looking at 4 a.m. possibly. Are you prepared for all that comes with this trip as far as the travel and the return very late on the backside of the game?
I don't think you can do all that much to actually prepare for that type of time loss other than catch up on your sleep as much as possible. I feel like we are definitely physically prepared and mentally prepared going into this game, and the emotional part is going to come sooner for some guys than others. But I feel like we will be prepared by the time we go into this. like I said before, it's another game. We're going there, like you said, on a business trip with a business mentality. We're not there to, goof off and stuff like that. We've got to be serious and focused once we get there. But other than, just trying to catch up on sleep in order to combat that time change, there's not a whole lot you can do.
Mm-hmm. I found you yesterday in the locker room. You had the iPad going, and it had some UCLA footage on there, and you were checking out some defensive linemen that you'll block. What do you think about the Bruins front? What do you got to do to be successful?
They're not quite the same front they had last year. They lost a couple big-time players, and but they still are a pretty consistent front. They're well coached. They'll get their hands on you really fast. Most of them have a pretty good get off, pretty consistent 4-down front, and we'd rather block 4-down front most of the time. But all around, pretty solid defense, and it's going to be a good matchup. It's going to be a good matchup for us.
Damion, your thoughts on UCLA secondary that you've been watching this week?
They plan to start a freshman at cornerback. So, they're losing one really person that was on their defense last year. Number 2, I don't even know his name. He changed.
You guys go by numbers.
Yeah,
y'all don't do names.
He changed his number to number 4 now, so he's a safety, and number 6 is still there. And number 22, which is a really patient cornerback. They're patient and they're experienced, so we're just going to have to go in with the mindset as in they're just numbers. Mm-hmm. And go in with – going to have to game plan. You're going to have to know what you need to do to get open. Mm-hmm. So, you just got to go in there with a mentality that you are better than them and don't take nothing less.
Yeah, play with some confidence. No reason not to. And before you guys go, we'll jump off football here real quick. This is the front porch segment. And hunting and fishing, I got a feeling is going to be big throughout this year. And last week, the topic when you brought Eric McCoy on was you feel like alligator gar is not that bad a meal if spiced right. McCoy wasn't buying in. Damion Ratley, you've tried some alligator gar, and can you vouch for it?
I vouch for it completely. I love going out there. We normally bow hunt them, as in go on a boat, spotlight them and shoot them. But other than cleaning them is the hardest part. They have very tough skin, so you got to get through that. But they have very, very pretty white meat to eat, and it's lovely. It's actually pretty nice.
Hit us with a history lesson last week that alligator gar skin
was
borderline armor for Aztec warriors.
I don't know if it was. I thought it was Aztecs. It could have been Mayans or
maybe
something
Incan.
Else. Maybe Incan. I'm not totally sure. I remember hearing that though on some history lesson I got one time, and they were talking about the armor, whatever they wore. But, it's actually decent eating meat. So if you ever catch one, to anyone who's listening, any fishermen that are listening, give it a try. You won't be sorry.
The whole thing is literally wrapped in meat. So it's like a tube, and it's just meat all the way around. It's just getting past the looks, the thought of an alligator gar. Yeah. And just getting it cleaned. And once you get it off, it's like pretty white meat all the way around. It's like a whole circle, and you just take it off.
See, I'm in.
It's nice.
You guys bring some alligator gar.
I'll leave
and I'm in. My co-host, Matt Simon, and he's a New Orleans native, Matt Simon. I would think he'd try anything out of the water. I don't know if he's bought into this yet. But finally this, also turkey hunting. You like turkey. And down toward the south, you get toward Yoakum and Cuero and all that. They like the turkey hunting down there. Are you a turkey hunter
Big
too?
Turkey hunter. My roommates hate when spring turkey season comes around. So I'll break out my vest, and I've got about 1 million different calls, and just all day long, just it drives them crazy. I actually used to bring a turkey call up to Bright during the spring season. I'd just be constantly practicing, and everyone in the locker room be like, let a bird in here, man.
But Damion knew that sound.
I actually heard it. I was shocked how good he was at it, because me personally, I can't use a mouth call. I got a couple buddies from back home that I can actually use a mouth call. I like using a box call. But the mouth call is definitely in the favor of getting used. But I like to bow hunt them, so I have to get them closer than a normal person.
I got you.
So, I've killed my fair share of turkeys, and our rival is a gobbler, so
there you go.
Quail gobbler. So we have to.
This is bringing back memories. Columbus used to play Quail and Yoakum non-district action all the time. But
yes.
Fellas, this weekend you're Bruin hunting, so best of luck with it in the Rose Bowl. We'll talk to you next week, Connor.
Sounds good.
Thank you so much.
All right.